It's your girl, Lady Sola. I want to welcome you to the brand new show called The Platform. This show is going to focus on artists showcasing their talents, their skills, their passion, their hustle. Entrepreneurs, visual artists, music artists, actors, directors, you name it, filmmakers. It's going to cover all spectrums when it comes to art and entertainment. So I'm really excited to kick this project off. And I have a very enigmatic musician here. He's a rapper. He goes by the name of King Chuck.
Thank you. How you doing?
So welcome to the platform.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to have you here. We're in his spot right now, so thank you for allowing me to come into your home.
Anytime, definitely.
Very nice setup that you have here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I have a couple of questions, of course, that I want to talk to you about. But yeah, I definitely want to start, with your upbringing and where you come from. So I just want the viewers to get a good sense of who you are. Where did you grow up? What's your ethnicity?
Okay. Cool.
Kind of your musical influences when you were growing up. Who did you really get inspired from when it comes to rappers and stuff like that?
Well, I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay.
Born and raised on George Street. My father and my mother are Nigerian, so I consider myself Nigerian, or some like to call it Nigerian American. So
can relate.
Yeah, you're Nigerian as well.
Yeah, I am.
I'm Igbo. I'm from
Yoruba.
Anambra, Awka State. Yeah, so I grew up on George Street, and my mom, she was very strict when we were young. I'm the youngest of seven siblings, all same mom, dad. I'm the youngest. My brother's the oldest. It's like 10 years, we're all like a year or two apart. So the older brothers, she didn't let them listen to rap music when they were young. So they basically had to hide listening to like rap music and stuff, like, because they had curse words. So by the time they got 14, 15, they were old enough, or 13, 12, they were old enough to listen to music. But when they were that age, I was young. I was like 5. I was even younger than that, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it was definitely something that was instilled in me. So I used to like literally rap at 5 years old, like doing like, we had like this little recording of me like making a rap with my fire truck and actually rhyme. So I always rap, my whole life. I was always something. I always used to flow. I always used to try to rhyme words. My influences: Biggie Smalls, #1, Snoop Dogg, Wu-Tang Clan. Those who I grew up with like early. They're like the first rappers that I remember hearing growing up. And me going to Nigeria for 3 years, that changed a lot of my music, because that's when I started incorporating the culture and the sound into it. I went out there for the first time when I was 20 years old, stayed there for a year, came back for like the summer, and I like it. Then I went to school there. That next year that I went to school, that's when I started learning the broken English. I went to a school called Covenant University. It's in Ogun State, near like Lagos.
Okay.
I went there for a year. That's when I started making that Afrobeat sound that you guys hear a lot. And then I
love that, by the way.
So I started adding the broken English into my raps. So that was big. Then LA, that's where I feel like my career started in 2014. I dropped an album called Rivers with a production team called H2O. It went very well. LA, Nigeria, and then just being from the East Coast. In terms of new age, like the most influential artist is probably The Weeknd. In terms of my sound, like actually the sonics of it, the whole airiness of it. I always wanted that sound, but when I heard him do it, he did it before me, I felt. But he didn't do it before me, but I'm like, that's the sound I always wanted, so I just always followed his music.
It was easier for you to
lay
it out.
Exactly.
Once you actually saw another artist.
That's a fact, exactly.
Do it and really capitalize on it too.
Definitely. That's one of my favorite artists. He's very, very dope. So.
Yeah, I love him too. How did you get the name King Chuck? Like, is there a crazy story behind that, or?
It definitely was influenced by Nigeria. My rap name growing up, everybody in New Haven and from the Trade area know me as Cash Bundles or C Bundles. It's funny, but that was my name since I was 13 all the way till 20, literally. Like, one of my best friends, Squirt, to this day, but your Bundles. Some people that didn't know me for that long, they be like, who's Bundles? I'm like, nah, chill.
It's a
That's
long
me.
Story.
Still
It's a
me.
long story.
And I was rapping very hard back then. Like I was taking rap very serious since I was young. So they always knew me as Cash Bundles. But King Chuck came about when I was in Africa, and I just started getting this whole sense of like royalty. And it was just a lot of king shit in Africa. Everything is very patriarchal. It's very much on the, father side, like you are from where your father is. So, I always looked at my real father as God rather than my earthly father because, he wasn't really there. But God, like, I always looked at him as my father, and he's a king. So, like, you know what? I am who my father is. So,
amen to that.
Chuck.
So, you was telling me earlier about 106 in Park and how... when you were about 16, you almost had the opportunity to go on that show. One of my favorite shows growing up. I mean, I think all the kids loved it, no matter where you were in the country. So tell me about that.
I don't remember what happened to this day. I don't know. Like, he was like, come up. I just don't know. I think I just didn't have a ride or something because it was New York.
Yeah.
I was 16. My mom wasn't taking rap at all serious.
And like the train, that, I'm sure it just wasn't close enough or something.
I was still in school, so I think I just, me probably just postponed it and just forgot about it. Because I was just, I actually opened up for J Hood back then when I was 16 as well.
Wow, how was that? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I actually got booed.
Oh, no.
It's all Gucci.
Oh, well.
Because I'm from New Haven.
People ain't booing you no more.
Definitely not. If they boo me, it don't matter to me. I'm going to still get to that money. That's all that matters. But that's not all that matters, but it helps things. I felt like I had a onesie silk suit on. That's how the shit looked.
Why did you have a silk onesie on?
It wasn't even a windbreak. It was like, not silk.
Help me understand this.
It was like that material that cats used to wear with the, almost like a track suit, almost like a track suit.
Okay.
One of them joints,
like
but it was
Puma,
like,
Adidas
but it was shiny though, and it was sky blue, and I had some red J's on.
Wow.
And a red shirt under
look very
it.
patriotic.
6X. Yeah, this was like, this is when just outfits was horrible back then, man.
Like everybody looked so up.
But I thought I was flea, had a do-rag with the shit tucked in the back and the hat over it. I didn't want the cape to come out. I thought that was like the played out time.
What steps do you take to create a song, write lyrics, record, production? Like what goes into making a song, making a mixtape?
One is confidence.
Okay.
And
that helps. Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because it takes time to build confidence. So if you just started making music, you may not be as confident with certain things you do on songs. Especially because when you make music, you're creating. You know what I'm saying? So when you're creating, that's something that no one has ever seen. So you don't have nothing to compare it against. You're like, is this hot? I don't know if this is so. Once you keep doing it, even if it's like nothing, now you know if it's hot. So with me, I don't have to write. Like I could just go in, and just make a song. I'd say maybe 65% of my music is freestyle and 35% is written.
Okay.
But I like writing the raps just because when I freestyle, I feel like I'm not as polished to get to the point. I get to the point very uniquely, and some people like my freestyle is better than my written. Sometimes I do. Like I have this thing called the Car Chronicles. I'm dropping like 10 songs, just freestyle it, and you'll think I wrote them. Like not, but I like writing because you have more power. It's like planning versus improv. You're always gonna do better if you plan. So, so I think half of that is part of laziness. Because I rely on my talent so much that I'm like, I don't gotta write. I'm just go in. I don't feel like anybody's better than me in the world like that. So I'm like, I could just, you feel me? But then I'm like, sometimes I want to prove something. But I don't do music to prove nothing. I do music just to use as a platform to talk to people. I just know how good I am at it. I could really go, I could battle, I could do anything, but I don't do it for that. I just do it just to talk to people. It's an easy way for people to listen. I record and engineer all of my own music, so I do, tweak the beats in different ways and do a lot of, you'll hear a lot of filters and compressors. It's the kind of sound that I have. But in terms of producers, that's very tricky for me.
Okay.
Because I'm very big on vision, and I got a vision. So if somebody doesn't have my vision, I just don't want to work with them. So it's like, even if it's a lot of quality, I have to have that sound that I want. And a lot of producers have their own sound. I like to look for people that just make beats that are open
that
to
you can
work
buy.
with. Yeah, they're just open to basically trust my artistry. You know what I'm saying? Like, they send me a beat, I trust what I'm gonna do with it. Don't say, yo, do this, don't put this melody here. Give me advice, but I know what I'm doing. You feel me? So over time, you just have to put your foot down, because if you don't, you're gonna make music that other people want you to make.
Let's talk about a song that I think made you very happy, the Diddy Bop. You kind of renaissance that.
Throwback memories.
from the Millie Rock, which is very, very big in New York. Tell people about what the Diddy Bop is, because I'm still new to it.
So the Diddy Bop is a dance. From what I remember, I first started seeing it, I believe it was, the first person I ever seen though was my best friend Keith Myrick at our prom. And that was senior year, so that was 07. It was some type of ball. And it was something, he was like, what's this nigga doing? Like, I didn't get it, but it was like catchy. Like, so that dance caught fire at the time. The dance was so catchy that it literally, like, you would see whole clubs doing the Diddy Bop at once. Talking about a whole wave, like, and I used to be in college hype, so I used to do the Diddy Bop forehead hitting the ceiling type shit, like, used to get real, like, but
so it was like swag and surf.
It was
like,
basically, but it was street. Because New Haven, like, is a very street place, regardless of what anybody said. People from New Haven, like, but I grew up in the trenches, so I know how rough New Haven is. So everybody, you know, we're fly, but you got fly people that are tough. You know what I'm saying? It's not just fly pretty boys, it's like fly street niggas. So the Diddy Bop is unique because it's not like, it's just, you know what I mean? So it caught fire.
With the Covers tape, that's obviously the project that has come out most recently. How many tracks do you have on there? What's your favorite song?
When
does it release? Because you have a couple of songs on SoundCloud.
Yeah, so I did something different where I put up a preview of what's going to be on the tape because I have so much songs up there. I still don't know how much is going to be dropping very soon. I like all of them, I'll be honest with you.
Okay, so is there anything else you want to
Diddy Bop,
share?
definitely because it's embodied in the state. It's embodied in the state, but, you know, each one of them are embodying something different. I think Mad Over You, that's the one that was catching fire first. Got a lot of views, so.
I mean, it's good that you have a project that you can confidently say, I like everything.
Definitely.
You know, I honestly can't pick the one song over another. So I want to talk real quick about just the passion behind the music. Every artist has their own journey, they have their own path, they have their own reasoning behind, you know, going out there and trying to rally support, trying to spread a certain message, or, you know, or just having an outlet, whether it's a hobby or something that just makes them happy inside. So what is really the centerpiece of why you rap? And, you know, where do you see yourself going with it?
I mean, I'm big on callings, and I feel like everybody has callings. And music just happened to be what God chose for me, or what, you know, the universe chose for me. So it was something that I just didn't choose, I always did. I mean, people know, like, I've been doing music for a long, long time, so it's just been something that I always knew I was going to do. It's something that I always knew I was a step ahead of in front of everybody because, you know, I put my soul in it. You know, like, I traveled, I slept on trains for this. You know, I've been in places that I didn't know, you know, if I make it up. Like, there's times I was in LA, 3 in the morning on Crenshaw Boulevard, like in the trenches, straight Crip neighborhood, 3 in the morning, dolo. Just, you feel me? Just to go to a studio, because that's where the studio was at. But I had to do it because I needed that record. Or just going to Africa, like, the things that happened to me in Nigeria, you wouldn't even, it's crazy, like, and it's not like, Nigeria is an amazing place, but I was out there grinding like it was America or something. So everybody was going crazy. My family like, yo, you can't be traveling in the streets like this is America. They know you're American, but I was there for so long that I just knew how to move. But it still was risky, because at the end of the day, even if I speak pidgin, you know, it's obvious that I'm American. It's obvious that, you know, I may be financially well off. So if I'm in an area where it's not safe that I may not know about. There's nobody I could call. They're overseas. So, you know, with just a lot of things that I risk for this music. And I told God this before. I said that I'm going to die doing this. Like, so if you want me to really pop, I got to take off because I'm not going to stop. Like, I'm going to keep doing this. Like, it's just, and I told him that because I felt like he told me I will always do this. So, and I do talk to God like that literally. But,
you have a strong relationship with him.
Definitely.
You know, I just want to, finish off the interview just pretty much giving what show you have coming up, any release dates that you have for the covers tape, just any information that you feel like sharing and putting out there for anybody watching, just so they can go and get your music, know where to follow you.
Definitely.
So give the people what they want.
King Chuck Official, that's KINGCHUCK Official. I have a show September 2nd at the Brooklyn Fashion Week. I'm going to be performing for my boy Casso. Follow him, Casso Made Brands on Instagram. I'm passionate about what I've been seeing going on in the world. I know how I was raised. I know how my grandmother raised us and my mom. And like, I feel that it's hard for people to find somebody to look up to because there's always something about that person that people don't like. Either too soft, or too street, or too this or that. So I feel like I just hit that balance where I can talk to anybody from the streets all the way to the corporate offices. So I got a different story to tell.
I'm so blessed and fortunate to have been able to chop it up with you literally on your last day.
That's crazy.
As God would have it. Yeah.
You hit me up, I'm like, tonight, because tomorrow I'm like.
That's why I've been staying on this dude's, like, I've been blowing him up because I'm like, I really wanted to kick this off with you, for real. Nigeria stand up.
Ibo Quenu. I'm fine now. Not the black guy.
This guy is starting now.
Not this my guy. But I love Connecticut. I'm always going to be a New Haven boy. But I just got to, I got to just keep growing. Keep getting the fan base bigger and bigger and bigger.
I wish you the best of luck in your new journey in DC and with all your shows that you have coming up. Covers tape. Make sure you guys go and download that.
I have a single I'm dropping in DC as well. Hopefully this month. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be very, very big. I also have another single that I'm dropping called Stay Out the Trap. I produced it. And we're going to be releasing the video very soon. It's a very epic and dope video. So there's a lot of things that we got that we feel is groundbreaking. Then we have all the visuals for the covers tape that Zonga Boy crafted up. We about to just flood. Like that's about to be fun because you're going to see our travels. We're going everywhere. Definitely will see us in Africa. Just tell you that much. So watch what we drop.
So much fun. That pretty much will wrap up the first video for the series in the platform featuring King Chuck. Make sure to follow him on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, King Chuck Official.
SoundCloud, King Chuck Official, soundcloud.com/King Chuck Official. Facebook, KingChuck.58. Twitter, King Chuck ARY. It's one word, King Chuckery. That's a word we used to say in New Haven. Chuckery. Chuckery.
What does that even mean?
I never changed the handle.
Thank you so much, everybody, for checking this out. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter @LadySolaLife. Also, Facebook.com/LadySolaLife. Listen to podcasts also on SoundCloud.com/LadySola. Just keep following the movement. There's going to be more episodes, more artists that'll be coming to chat with me. So definitely be on the lookout for all the upcoming projects. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.
Bingo.
They tell you can't get over that addiction. You see that bottle of liquor right there? You know you want to drink it, but say these words whenever you hear them voices, right? Hey, hey. Stay out the trap. Stay out the trap.